How's it going, YouTube? This is the Teller Terrorist here, along here with co-captain Kindlelad, and we're here because we just got word that there was a ban list that will be in effect as of November 5th, 2017. So, without any further ado, let's just get right into this because I already know what the hits are. Let's just get right into it here. So, first things first, Blackwing Gofu the Vague Shadow is now limited, so no longer will we have to worry about one-card Decode Talker, at least not in a consistent capacity. How do you feel about that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
All right. I feel like, believe it or not, that actually hurts like a lot of. I personally don't agree with it because Gofu is what helped a lot of the generic, lower tier decks be able to keep up with all of the higher tier decks, be able to put out a one card Decode Talker that allows them to make their plays that they wouldn't be able to do initially because their engine in the main deck is just too slow. Now, decks that rely on, extra deck space that don't have speed, Gofu helped them in being able just to bring out just that. Now, decks like ABC, they don't care about Gofu, things like that. That's just like an added tech even if they do run it. Any other deck is I just don't agree with it. Personally, I don't agree with Gofu.
All right, well, let me ask you this then, because we can agree that Blackwing Gofu the Vague Shadow is basically a one-card Link 3. Can we agree on that?
Oh, yeah.
So, because Terratop got the same treatment because it was a one-card rank 3, so how can you say that Terratop deserved to get hit to 1 but not Gofu?
Okay, so the whole concept behind the one card rank 3, all right, in a format that didn't require monster spaces to be such a relevant thing, that was the problem, is because you'd be able to spam out Xyz versus Gofu. You're allowed to bring out one monster versus that. Then that gives you two open spots for Xyz or extra deck monster zones.
Well, right, but it goes under the same concept because you're basically making a rank 3 or a link 3 without committing your normal summon, which was the issue, which is why Norton got banned as well, because it was a one card rank 4 that didn't require you to normal summon. So I think it makes sense that cards like that, if they're going to hit all the other cards that essentially do the same thing, it makes sense to me that Gofu got hit. Now, while I agree with you that maybe it hurts a lot of lower tier decks from being able to keep up, I think we also can agree that if Konami was going to go so far as to ban Norton for being a one card rank 4 or a one card synchro without committing your normal summon, that if Terratop was going to be a one-card rank 3 without committing your normal summon, that Gofu and what it does without committing its normal summon kind of makes sense that they would do this to that degree as well. I agree with it. It makes sense to me, but I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree on that point. But moving on, the next hits on the list were SPYRAL Gear Drone and SPYRAL Quik-Fix. Now, I think we can all admit that we saw this coming from a mile away. We're in a Tier 0 format. In YCS Dallas, 29 of the top 32 were SPYRAL. In YCS London, 27 of the top 32 was SPYRAL. I think we kind of saw this coming. And honestly, I think they hit the right cards. What Konami generally has an issue, or has a thing about what they like to do, is that they like to hit enable cards that enable the deck that makes it broken instead of hitting the problem, like like in Dragon Ruler format, they hit Dragon Ravine instead of just getting rid of the problem entirely. They tend to get rid of enablers as opposed to the actual problem.
Well, no, they didn't. They didn't get rid of Dragon Ravine. They got rid of the babies.
Well, they got rid of the babies first. Yeah, you're right. And the babies were a huge enabler in that deck.
Cause I remember Dragoonity Ruler was a big thing.
Well, right, but as opposed to just getting rid of the Dragon Rulers, they got rid of Dragon's Ravine, which, didn't kill Dragon Rulers at all, but it destroyed Dragoonity as a deck. Yeah. So that's why I was saying Konami has an issue with getting rid of cards that enable the problem instead of getting rid of the actual problem. And here I feel like they did, because with the limiting of drone, they can't consistently without Spiral Resort to be able to search it. They don't have a consistent way to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and stack you in such a way to where you can't play the game. Meanwhile, they're getting a bunch of advantage, and I don't even need to go into all the broken degenerate Quik-Fix combos that came from having Quik-Fix at 3. So I think they made the
Quik-Fix allows too many degenerate OTKs.
Well, not only that, but it also promotes being able to go like +9, +10, which is the issue that people had with Zodiac, was that you were able to plus way too hard off of 1 card. Now, granted, in Spiral, you can argue that to go that hard turn 1, you need 2 cards, but I mean, alright, if you open up Machine Dupe, one of 9 field spells, like Resort, Terraforming, or Set Rotation, and Machine Dupe, you have the combo. So you could argue that it's still pretty consistent, even though it's a 2-card combo to go that hard.
Yeah.
So I believe that Konami made the right call here in hitting Quik-Fix and Drone. I don't know if it'll kill the deck, but it'll at least, put it in its place to where it's not as broken or as consistently putting out these +11 unbreakable boards. Do you think they made the right call in hitting these, or do you think they should have hit something else? Or do you think something else is the problem?
I don't know that much about Spirals personally. But what I can say is that their consistency, their monsters are weak by themselves. So I think one of the biggest problems was Last Resort.
Oh, I agree.
That card is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, because... Well, no, I 100% agree with you. It's it makes all their Spiral cards, not just monsters, their Spiral cards not be able to be targeted by card effects. You constantly get to recycle, monsters that you put in the graveyard during the end phase as part of your maintenance cost. And then once per turn, you get to search out a Spiral monster. And that's not a hard once per turn. So once per copy of the card, you can search out a new copy. I mean, that by itself is pretty ridiculous. So I agree with you there, but I think that I think that unless the deck continues to be as dominant as it has been since the release of the Link monster, Double Helix, I don't think they'll really have a need to hit anything else unless it continues to dominate the way it has over the last couple weeks.
I mean, I do agree. I do agree.
Well, if nothing else, there is one more card that we need to go over. Now, I think Drone and Quik-Fix were the big ones, but the last card that got hit on this list was Set Rotation. It got limited to 1. Before I go on about this, what's your thoughts on the limiting of Set Rotation?
All right. So we have Metaverse coming out here pretty soon. I don't think Set Rotation is going to be that big of a problem. Like, I personally don't think it was that big of a problem. I thought it was a very, very good, just cards that rely on field spells to make power plays are very, very powerful. Set rotation, dumb that down a lot.
All right, but there's also another issue with set rotation that I think you might be overlooking. And let me know if you agree here. But having set rotation at 3, people were saying that terraforming needed to get hit as opposed to anything else, which I don't agree with, and here's why. With set rotation, not only do you have the potential to lock your opponent out of field spells by giving them a field spell that they can't do anything with, like Midbreaker Field, the Blackluster Soldier field spell, Oracle of Zephyra, cards that they can't get rid of without using their own resources to get rid of. So if they like what you said, if they rely on a field spell to really get their pushes going, that really sets them back. But not only that, but you're also thinning 2 cards out of your deck to add consistency. So not only are you giving yourself your field spell to make your power plays, but you're also potentially limiting your opponent's ability to be able to make their power plays. And not only that, but set rotation isn't something that you can ash. It's not something you can droll because you're not adding them. You're not, doing anything. You're just straight setting them from the deck. So it completely gets around hand traps. So everything that I've just stated, what is your thoughts and opinions on it? Do you agree or do you have a counterpoint?
I'm gonna go ahead and stick with my opinion on it. That I feel like that set rotation was actually I don't think it was overpowered. I think it was pretty overall pretty decent because it allowed. All right, so decks that relied like ABC, things like Zephyra were pretty good because of set rotation, the ability to search out their field spells.
Well, and to the point of things like Zephyra, the reason that they were that good, well, at least in the OCG, they still have cards like Danglong, if I'm not mistaken. So that really helps their cause. But not only that, with people playing set rotation and playing cards like Oracle of Zephyra, which unless you play a Zephyra card, you're never going to be able to activate. But if you are playing the Zephyra archetype and they give you Oracle, well, they just gave you a free +1. Same could be said about BLS, the BLS deck, but I mean, I don't think that's seeing any sort of play anywhere unless you know something that I
don't. Not to my knowledge.
All right, so we agree on the hits to Quik-Fix and Drone. I think that's fairly obvious. I think everybody except Spiral players will agree with that. But we disagree on the necessary hits to Gofu and set rotation. Is that a...
I don't agree with Gofu. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. 100%. I think that Gofu was one of those cards that allowed the lower tier decks to uphold to the Link standards. And now that just that threw them off the wagon because they needed that card for the push.
Alright, well that is all we have for you today. Let us know in the comment section below what you guys think of the, I guess you can call it an adjusted list because all they did was limit 3 or 4 previously unlimited cards. So I guess you can call this just an emergency adjusted list, I guess. So let us know what you guys think. Do you agree with Rick? Do you think Gofu should have just stayed at 3? Do you agree with me that It was a 1-card Link 3 that did not that you could make without committing your normal summon. So let us know what you guys think. Hit subscribe. Hit subscribe. Hit like. That way we can continue to bring you these awesome videos. So anyway, guys, peace out, and we'll catch you in the next video.